For our very first problem, we're going to go through and look at the marking schemes. It's a complex value. This is from paper 1, and we're doing number 4 here. And we started out, I have the two complex numbers. We want to find the distance between them. You remember the distance formula. It's the change in x squared plus the change in y squared. And then what do you do with that? Square root. Yeah, that's the distance formula. So we're essentially going to do this. This is kind of like my x, and this is like my y. So you're going to do 2 minus 1 squared plus, and then this one's a little tricky. It's going to be negative 2 minus a square root of 3 squared. Square root. So for the marking scheme, they want you to find that distance AB using the distance formula. And I like to say it this way. Formula with values plugged in. That's usually worth a mark. So find your formula, plug the values in, that's worth a mark. No simplifying, no algebra, that gets you 1 mark. Okay, then what they're going to do is this is kind of a challenge. How do you expand this? So they went negative 2 plus square root of 3, negative 2 plus square root of 3, and you multiply those out. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Negative 2 root of 3. Negative 2 will be negative 4 root of 3. Root of 3 is going to be plus 3. Okay? So when I add those together, I'm going to get 7. And I don't know what 88 is. They're wrong. 7 minus 4 root of 3. Oh, it's 8 because you're adding the 1. Yep. Good. So notice that that's worth a mark because you did one step of simplifying. Then the problem says they want something minus the square root of something minus root of 3. Okay? So we have to factor something out of here. And what's the square root of 4? 2. So if I take out a 4 here, square root of 4 is 2, leaving a 2. Take this square root of 4 out, you'll leave 1. So there's your 2 minus root of 2 minus root of 3. All right, so there you go. So there's your 4A, and here's your 4B. B is what's the angle difference between them. We need to talk about that. So with that, you're going to need to take each of these inverse tangent. The angle for Z1 is the inverse tangent of the y part over the x part. Negative 2 over 2. And what's the inverse tangent of negative 1? You know that one? Negative pi over 4. Yes, 0 is the score I'll give you, but no. You're, with this one, think of it this way. You're going over 2, down 2. That's just going to be in quadrant 4, right? And that is negative pi over 4. The other one is over 1, down square root of 3. This is going to be the inverse tangent of negative square root of 3 over 1, which is going to be negative pi over 3. So notice there's 2 marks here, A1, A1. Why is it A1, A1? You get 1 point for this one and 1 point for that one, knowing how to find those inverse tangents. We'll practice those, guaranteed. Okay, and then they want the difference between the two. So you just take negative pi over 4 minus a negative pi over 3. And so when you get a common denominator, you're going to get 4 pi minus 3 pi is going to be pi over 12. Okay, and so there you go. Those are and look at the marks. You would just have one mark for that and two marks, one for each of those and one mark for the pi over 12. And so that's the number 4. Pretty quick process.